and welcome back to another video. That is scary. So what is happening? What's been going on? Let's have a little catch up. On the 23rd, obviously Davey and I got engaged. So that's a complete shock, but absolutely fantastic. So wedding plans have begun. We're both very much of the opinion of if we can just crack on, hopefully for next year, then that would be amazing. But there is actually quite a lot of places booked up for 2024 already, which I was quite surprised about. But anyway, but I think it's probably as well because our timescale is very limited. Farmers will be able to relate to this. So there's obviously quite a few months where we've had to rule out straight away for lambing and calving and then shearing. Yeah, our time is sort of limited, but there's still plenty of options in between that. I think once we have a date, it'll feel much better. It is a bit stressful at the moment. We're not knowing where to book. It's trying to get everything to fall into place. I think once that stage is done, it'll be much better. So many different locations and beautiful venues, and it's amazing, but it's also like, wow. Anyway, what else has been happening? We've also kind of taken a wee bit of a quieter spell this bit between Christmas and New Year. Just check the livestock, feed, bed everyone every day. We're not doing anything out with that unless it needs done. It's quite nice just to take a step back, just to have an extra couple hours at home to even just tidy the house or do whatever. Just over at the wean calves here. So this is day 2 of their silage. Coming over to push it into them. And they were all sitting down, but obviously with me coming over, they've come over to investigate. So I'm just going to push it in about, and I would imagine most of them will come in about and have a wee pick at it, thinking it's a fresh bite. These calves will all be sold in February. So we start to step up their feeding again in January. Start to increase the barley slightly, increase the protein. They were still not pushing them, like as you can see there's still not a huge quantity of barley in there, but like I say, we want them to grow, we don't want them to be fat. And then it'll be a quick turnaround, get this shed mucked out, get it washed, get it set up for sheep. Early lambers will have to come in and pretty much the week after they're gone. And the texels, haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet because they are due before the calves are away. That scraper is not a high-tech bit of kit, but it does the job, it works well. So you can see most of them have come in about. Does anyone else just find this bit between Christmas and New Year just so strange? Like, you just don't know what's going on, you don't know what day it is, you don't know what you're meant to be doing. Other things that are going on in January, the bulls will be coming out to spring cows. They will have been in for 10 weeks, or 9-10 weeks. They will also be scanning our main lambing ewes, so I've got Davey booked in for that. Yeah, we just get close to texels lambing really. We're just shy of a month out now, which is scary. We also opened up our second silage pit. So first one is now empty and it'll become a cattle court. And then the second one we've opened it up, so the sleepers come off the front and then the plastic covers rolled back. We've also had such an array of weather. One minute it was complete whiteout and there was snow everywhere, and the next day it was completely gone as if it never even was there. And flooding. Then we had snow again. So yeah, we've had a bit of everything really. This is definitely not the weather for that. It is definitely weather for a buggy because I cannot feel my hands. Oh, it's cold. died down. The snow's sort of turned to rain now. But I've just come down to check on my girls because they're right next to the river and it has started to burst its banks in other fields. So everyone is here. What a miserable day to be a yow today. There is so much water everywhere. This is the main road. And it's just everywhere, it's just flooded. We are trying to keep the drains clear, but it's just the amount of water. They're just not stopped. This is coming out of our sheep pens. I've never seen it like that before. Just was feeding the cows there, and obviously it was dark when we start and daylight's come up, and you can see all the texels were way over there. I was like, there's one still not moved. So literally went, got the bike, come down. Silly Billy was on her back. Thankfully she's not been there too long, but long enough to give her a bit of a shake up. Obviously it's not ideal because they are quite far inland now. Honestly, sheep, bloody sheep. She's standing, she's walking, she's just going to get her balance back, get the gas back down inside her, and hopefully she'll be alright. And don't do it again. I've had enough. The yow lambs are behaving not too bad. The tups are just being an absolute pain. There's one in particular, he will just literally jump over it. So yeah, I've had enough. Also, that's the snow starting again. The yow lambs are really eating them up really well, much cleaner than the tups are, so I'm going to give the yow lambs the rest of the neeps, not all at once. Just taking their fence down here, and then I'm going to put them across the stubble bit, because obviously the wet, horrible weather that we've been having, they are not very white and fluffy anymore. Because they are absolutely filthy, I'm going to put them across the stubble park, and that should hopefully keep them a bit cleaner, give them somewhere slightly cleaner to lie on. I wouldn't say drier, but cleaner at least. Nothing ever goes right, ever. Just walking back up with these 3 reels, and every time you get so far up and the things decide to get stuck or the wire snaps, I just hate it. I absolutely hate fencing. Just got a couple bales of silage and sheep rings that I'm going to just head up to the early lambing mules with. This is their first 2 bales, so we'll see how they get on. It's just getting really bare now. There isn't really much for them, and it's quite a rough bit of ground that they're on. Quite good quality silage. It's not the best, but it's okay for the stage that they're at. Obviously it's that fine balance of you want to get the yows to keep their body condition up, but also there's a lot of triplets, so you don't want to give them too much early on. I'm trying these couple of bales to see. It is turning colder, I think. There is maybe another storm coming, so I'd rather they had something that they could eat and we know what like quality it was. You can tell just by the colour of the grass as well, like you see the difference in that park and then here where they're on. So you see here, we actually chopped the silage this year for the sheep. There's like a prime example of a chopped bit. So there's lots of obviously wee short bits. Yeah, they definitely didn't seem to waste as much last year. They weren't pulling out great big bits out the ring feeders and then tramping on it. But because it's easier for them to get at, I don't know if that would mean that they eat more maybe. If anyone has any experience preferences, feel free to comment. You know, it's all about learning from each other. If you could smell it, it's so good. It is very dry, very, very dry, but there's lots of like clover through it. There is still, you know, some of the grass was shot, so there is still a few stalks through it. It's maybe a wee bit stockier than I would have liked, but I mean, it's come back, not bad stuff. I should say, when I say it's come back, we get our silage tested. So we send a sample away, they test it. Not entirely sure of the testing process, but they do different things. And then they come back with all the analysis and tell you how good or bad and high and low. It's not the best stuff that we've got. Our second cut stuff that I was saying is really high in protein that we're giving to the calves at the moment, it's come back the best. So I'm going to save it for when they're further into their pregnancy. But for now, this stuff, well, they're already coming in about. So we'll see how long that these bales last them. Down with the texels. So the first of these girls will be due sort of around the 4th, 5th of February. So they are fairly starting to get wee bellies now. This is one of my favourite ewes. Homebred girl. And she's carrying 3. This is the star of the show. I wonder if you can still make it out. Your legs. A wee bit. Good girl. So because the girls are now coming up to being just about a month out, they've had their lifeline buckets for quite a while now. Ideally we give them minimum 6 weeks before lambing, but quite often I'll put them out to 8 weeks. We swear by these buckets, we've used them for years and years now, and as you can tell, the girls love them. We have been using them for years, but if you followed me for a wee while on Instagram and Facebook, you'll know I have been doing a wee bit of work with Romenco the past year. But like I say, we were using these way before that. Absolutely love them. Improve colostrum quality hugely in the ewes at lambing time. Lambs are really vigorous. They get up, they go, they're really keen, get up and look for a sook. This is the ewe that was on our back yesterday morning that I found. I've seen her eating this morning. She's obviously going about. She's on her feet this morning, she's not on her back. So that's a good sign. And everyone else here seems to be doing okay. That's me gonna sign off for Hogmanay. It's turning cold and wintry here now. It's absolutely freezing. Just got the dogs out for a walk. And then I'm gonna go and enjoy the last few hours of 2023. I hope you have an amazing new year, whatever you get up to. And we shall see you in 2024 for lots of exciting new videos. Have a good one, all the best, and we'll see you soon.